Now, what do you do if somebody else's kids are really getting on your nerves? You know, this is somebody else's kids, kicking the back of your seat on a plane, constantly booting their ball into your picnic at the park and landing on the food, talking at the tops of their voices in the cinema while you and your kids are trying to watch the Simpsons movie. Do you tell them off, or are you frightened that their parents will go berserk? It's a tricky one.
You're on a train and the children are really being a nuisance, and I think it's fine for you to tell them their behaviour is totally unacceptable. Otherwise, they'll never know.
Definitely not. I'd be really embarrassed even at the thought of it.
I think if they're in a public place and misbehaving, then I think it's very difficult to tell a child off if the parents are present.
If somebody told my daughter off and it was a valid reason, then that's fine.
If you saw somebody in the street doing something really, really dodgy, you know, holding some kid in the path of an oncoming bus or something, I think people would step in. I think you'd have to.
The other day, in the park, we saw an 11-year-old severely assaulting a younger brother. The mother was distracted, and so I absolutely reflexed to just shout.
I do think it's all right, yeah, just as long as you don't get caught by the other kids' parents, really.
Exactly. With us now to pick our way through this minefield, journalist and broadcasters Rosie Millard, mother of 4, and Larry Turner, mother of 3. But maybe catching up, we don't know.
No.
Time will tell.
It's enough.
Time will tell. OK, on the level, if kids are behaving badly in my vicinity and their parents aren't there, I have no qualms about telling them off. And quite often when I was a TV reporter out on the road, you had all kinds of problems with kids. You've both been there. And I had no qualms about shouting at them and trying to clear off. But if their parents are around, no, sir, I won't go there, because you never know what the consequences are going to be, because some parents are nuts, you know, and they have this extraordinary reflex response to hearing their children told off, even if with justification, by someone else. What's your policy?
Well, I think that, you know, it really depends on the situation. If children are being antisocial, violent, if children are ripping up plants, I've told off children for ripping up plants, for example, in our local park. Again, actually, if their parents are there, I've also told them off if the parents are there. That's fair enough.
And what's happened? What have the parents done?
The parents said, oh, these flowers are lying around anyway. You know, being rather sort of weird. Well, I've just said, oh, OK. Yeah, I mean, I think that actually if a child is being misbehaving very, very badly, and the parents say it really is up to the parents, because, you know, the parents... The child sort of belongs to the parents. It's up to the parents. And as a parent, you know, I'd make sure that my children do behave in public.
But as a mother, just suppose nobody's got perfect kids. They all play up sometimes. What is your reaction if another adult comes up to your kids while you're there with them and tells you or them to shut up or pipe down?
Well, this happens to me a lot. I mean, I've had people coming up to me in trains, I've had people coming up to me in restaurants, in family-friendly Italian restaurants. The waitress came up to me, she said, oh, we had a complaint from the other table, could you just tell children to keep it down a bit?
If you're in a family-friendly, how bad are your kids, Rosie?
Furious. They are not bad. You know, they are really
must
not.
Be little terrors, darling. You're in a family-friendly restaurant. Family-friendly.
They are
and
noisy,
your kids are getting
they're
told
lively, but children are noisy. You know, this country is full of intolerant people. You know, do you know...
You're one of them, aren't you, Larry?
Well, I do think that we do live in a country where a lot of people don't have children, and we have to be aware of that as parents, and therefore... If you live in a city, you have to be aware of everybody, and I both expect those who don't have children to respect me, and I respect them, and therefore you can't inflict your children.
What if they don't respect you? What if the kids are screaming their head like, what if you're next to her lot?
Well, it depends. If I was in
galleries,
I was in a soft play place the other day, and a child started throwing those plastic balls at my child, and I didn't even look for a parent. I just waded straight in there and said that is not acceptable. And if
what did the kid do?
Stop throwing the balls. What's interesting, I think, is between men and women is the difference, because as a mother, I can do that, and I notice fathers often don't feel they can wade in with other people's children because there'll be all sorts of allegations of abuse, or I don't know. They just whereas I think kids see the look in your eye, that mummy look, and no messing.
You got horribly told off by a bloke about being in an art gallery, didn't you?
I was in an art gallery, which was a freely available art gallery. We were in the gallery for about... Yes, it is actually quite child-friendly.
Most galleries aren't child-friendly.
It's in a huge park, you know. Right. And we wandered in out off the park. It's a Serpentine Gallery in Kensington Gardens. We're looking at the stuff. Children are being pretty noisy, but, you know, I expect my children to go to a gallery with me. I want them to be sophisticated. I want them to be civilised.
But that's all about what you want.
Yeah,
what about what the other people in the gallery want?
It's 10 minutes. We were in there for 10 minutes.
What happened?
We left the gallery. We were walking up the road. This guy comes beetling after us and says, excuse me, I just want to stop. I just want to say something to you for a minute. And my husband, who's a bit quicker on the uptake than I am, said, if it's what you I think you're going to say, I'm going to be really unhappy about this. He said, I must speak, I must speak. Your children have ruined my experience at this gallery. When I was young, when I had nippers, he sort of go, I said, oh yeah, tell us about it. He said, you know, do you know what we would do? We would sit in the car park, my wife and I would take it in turns to have shifts. We would go into the gallery, we would look after the children, and I just think that is terrible. That is not, you know, my children have been to the Louvre, they have been to the Museum of Modern Art, they've been to
But that's all about how marvellous for your children.
No,
what about for everybody
my children
else?
Are citizens of the world.
Yes, but so is everybody else. You can't inflict them.
Yes,
if they are,
a noisy child
behaved.
is only going to make a noise for basically about 10 minutes. Yeah.
Just a second. I mean,
a child,
okay, then maybe this
you know,
oh yeah, but maybe this guy at the
forever.
gallery was a bit eccentric. Maybe he'd been having a hard day. But again, it just seems a bit weird that it was so serious that he ran up the road after you.
Afterwards.
Okay.
He ran. I mean,
can you give me an impersonation, a demonstration of what the loudest of your children was saying or doing? I mean, was it sort of that kind of stuff, you know, on the walls, and I want to go now. Come, Mum. Was it like that, or?
Well, it wasn't kind of, oh, Mama, do look at this wonderful kind of thing. You know,
why take them if they're not going to enjoy it?
But you've got to have your children.
Have to do anything.
Your children need to be involved in life, because children are
but you
life,
don't take them to somewhere they're going to be miserable to inflict that on everybody else.
You two are not going to agree. In fact, you're going to be at each other's throats a minute.
Let's go and buy the
This country is fully
shrapnel's flying.
Okay, thank you both very much, but we've run out of time.
It's got nothing to see, but it was worth it.
It's like people don't want to go on holiday in this country with kids. They want
Just
to
tell me where you're going.
Yes, can you
Rosie,
tell me
and I
where you're
will
going
not
on
go
holiday
there.
this year? Where are you going?
Suffolk.
Still
to come. 4 children and a puppy.
On the train or in a car?
Still to come. You be quiet.
Yes,
I've got to get this link.